Well,
agent. What do you think?
I'm glad that Sahara reporters and other people have come out with this information first, so that we
Yeah.
can now react freely without fear of persecution. Because this
Yeah.
government is very notorious for arresting and detaining anybody that complains about
Yeah.
anything, no matter how valid in
Also,
the system.
Tinubu. I live in Portugal. I'm in Portugal now.
Yeah.
My house is in Portugal.
So
You get my joke.
the reason why is quite obviously the whole country. Yeah, the results of the findings of the Chicago courts in the money laundering charge involving $150,000 worth of drug money found in Tinubu's account, and then Tinubu forfeited the drug money in
How
order
much?
to
How much was it?
avoid a criminal charge, which
How
is
much
what
was it?
$150,000.
Oh
It
yeah,
was,
yeah.
it
Money was
wasn't like
included.
it was just something. It was maybe one shipment or a couple of shipments or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So because and that document was released to the whole country and indeed the whole world. So but it's so bad. It sounds like a conspiracy when I say it that my president. I mean, at least Trump is just done for sexual assault, and I mean, he's done for things that presidents do. They
Yeah.
sexually assault, they steal.
Especially
But to be
especially
done
old
for
white men.
drugs,
Old white
other
men.
presidents, this is Colombia cartel president, level. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite horrifically disgraceful that
And
your
what makes it even
president.
more disgraceful is that most likely they paved his path to becoming the president when he doesn't have the merit, not well educated, nobody special, and they paved his path. So they made him an agent early. And it goes to show you how far the CIA thinks in controlling African countries. Continue, Kunle. Yeah.
Most definitely, but it's not from America. It starts from England because England, I saw a video from the
Oh yeah.
50s. They've been
Hmm.
rigging elections in Nigeria since the 50s. I couldn't believe it. I saw there was a
Yeah.
British civil servant from the 50s that came and he gave a long explanation of this in a long speech about this. So Tinubu basically I always believed that he was under the control of the CIA, but I mean, is basically Nigeria is under Britain, Britain is under America, America is under Israel.
Yeah. And also
That's the chain.
I'll add, Britain and America are basically cousins. They're cousins because America was a British colony and they kind of broke off from Britain. But a lot of people don't realize this. They had one civil war. Then before the second civil war, they just both agreed that America will still give money to Britain for its freedom. And this is a legacy of that. They work together. Yeah. And they're cousins. They speak the same
Yeah,
language. Yeah, yeah. Same thing. Yeah.
yes,
And
they work
France is
together.
their bastard daughter. Their bastard no,
Yeah,
France is their
but
bastard nephew.
the sad thing is that prior to just after World War II, both America and
Yeah.
Britain sort of had their own sovereignty. I don't know how it came about between 1945 and 1948, and then the 1960s,
Oh, we're going on a detour. We're going
how
on a detour.
quickly Israel
We're
took
going on a detour,
America.
but
Yeah.
here's my theory. We're going on a detour, but here's my theory. The U.S. was a new power after World War II, and they didn't have the colonies that Britain had, so they were dependent on Britain too. So the USA will provide the weapons. You guys are connected to Nigeria and India. You provide that relationship we have. So the U.S. is so isolated that they need Britain because of Britain's colonies and stuff. So it's kind of like merging companies together. I bring the money and the guns. You bring the clients. The clients are Nigeria, Congo, all
Yeah.
these. You understand what I'm saying? So they needed Britain.
Yeah.
They need Britain.
Yeah.
And also the
Well,
British have the
but yeah.
brains. The Americans don't have the
But
brains.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Eisenhower and Truman weren't under the control of Israel. I think it became apparent.
But
Maybe
that's
we're
a detour, but we'll go back to the Tinubu case. Yeah,
we're
let's
going
continue.
well back. Yeah, but
Yeah.
coming back to Tinubu case. So
No,
these are the people
Eisenhower
that
complained about
control.
military. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Now, based on how Tinubu got into power, I'm quite sure that there's no way he would have been able to get into power using those kind of suspect means if America and Britain did not approve of him being in power. The alternative to
Oh
him
yeah.
was Peter Obi. I don't know why, for whatever reason, the United Kingdom and America were lukewarm or disinterested or non-supportive of Obi, and anybody
Well,
that
it's very clear. He's Igbo.
is not
I,
liked
I,
Now,
by
I
now
don't
we
want to get
know.
in trouble.
Now we know. Now we
I
know.
don't want to mention,
Now we know
but
that.
also,
Now
but
we know
very clear. I
why.
don't want to mention Biafra. But here's the problem: if you put an Igbo president in who has a consciousness, he's going to protect Nigerian resources and he's going to protect the resources of people in the East, and that's what the Americans don't want, the Yoruba don't want, and the Hausa don't want. That's
Sure,
what I think. What
absolutely,
do you think,
sure.
Kule? Then we'll go to
Biafra
Kule in
doesn't
30
really
seconds.
care.
Then we'll go to
They'll side with
Saeed.
them. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Should I continue or? Yeah. So, but I mean, the potential of
And also,
Biafra.
Obi is not their man.
Yeah, whether Biafra has learned that in order
Even
to
forget
stay on
about
the right
Biafra. What?
side.
Forget about a Biafra. Yeah, sorry to confront. I'm going to say one quickly. It doesn't even need to be Biafra, but to have a president who cares about the needs of the people in the eastern part of the country who would want a more balanced government. The U.S. doesn't want a balanced government. They want a government in which the resources are looted. And you will never see a leader come out of River State or Igbo land or those areas that will allow their country to be so looted that their homeland is looted. So it doesn't even have to be Biafra. It just means more balance. But with Tinubu, they can do whatever they want in Nigeria. What do you think, Kunle? Yeah.
What they're trying to do in Nigeria right now, they're trying to reduce our purchasing power, take our money away. They know that any money that they give to Tinubu is going to come right back to them into their private accounts in the West.
Yeah, he's their
So
boy.
they're happy to keep giving us loans. We keep defaulting on the loans. We keep amassing debt. And then that money they're giving us, our politicians just take it back to Europe and America, and then they tax us on that money that they've collected back.
And also we pay them back with our oil and liquid gas. Yeah.
Yes. Right now, every single Nigerian, if we were to all pay the foreign debt, would all be owing 620,000 naira each. All of
That's
us
not too bad.
would
Yeah.
have to pay. That's how much.
Oh,
So if
that's a
you have
lot. Yeah.
620,000 naira, go and put it somewhere quietly so anybody comes and
Ah,
so this is the thing. And then America boasts they gave 3.4 billion in aid to Africa, but they don't talk about the fact that they get pretty much all of that money back.
oh, they get more
It's
than that. They get
all
more
sent
because they
back
get raw
into
resources.
Swiss bank accounts,
Let's
French
go to
American.
site
It's
so that we
all
can
back.
continue. Yeah. Sorry to confront you, but I'm going to add that the
Yeah.
Italian companies get Nigerian uranium and other things, which is not even listed on the budget. So they're getting more.
Right.
This West
I
is
might
getting
have
more
to go and
back
get
in.
my second beer, but yes.
Go and get it. Go and get it while Saeed talks. So Saeed, it's your turn. See, Kule, you're supposed to keep your beer with you. Also, Guinness, please sponsor our show. Okay, go on.
I'm
Saeed. Yeah.
Heineken. It's my second one. I'm just finished my first.
Okay, yeah, Dutch. We're sponsored by the Dutch. Okay, so Saeed, what are your thoughts? Because I know you wanted to jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, I think Mr. Kunle hit so many points, as in most of the points that
Yeah.
I actually wanted to make. Because America, it now shows that America actually just want to get a serious hold on our country and our economy and our resources. Because this to show that they are aware that Tinubu is who he is.
Yeah.
They have the evidence, and they have the evidence that can make him not to qualify or become our president when he is vying for during the election period.
Yeah.
You understand me? So now, on what Mr. Kunle was saying that they were disinterested or something. No, now we know why they are disinterested in our election and the outcome of our election. You can see that with this court case now, it shows that the CIA, FBI, DEA, they are all in line. They are all well aware of what is going on.
Yes.
For them to say that they don't want the redacted names to be unredacted, it shows that they vividly said it in that court summary that they can't allow that this person is still an asset at the moment.
But you know what's beautiful? By saying that we can't allow it, is them letting us, the people, know that it's true. It's no longer conspiracy theory.
No,
it's true.
It is confirmed now. Even as at now, the story came out. I think like 2 days ago. Till now, the federal government and our spokesperson, they have not said anything concerning it. They have not denied it.
They won't.
Yes.
Hopefully, they don't know where we live, also. But anyway.
Well, the story is out there. We are just
the story is out there. Not only us. If you go to
So,
TikTok, there's Nigerians who have 3 million views
they
on this
can't come after us and say we are the reason why.
And also, we're small boys because.
Now, to add to my points and my opinion too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm thinking, what is our opposition parties? What are they doing now? Now that they have this evidence, and I would like Mr. Kunle to help us. And I would like Mr. Kunle to help us with
before we go to Kunle,
point of view. To let us know.
Okay, I have the answer to that.
Okay, Kunle, give us 2 minutes. Answer that in 2 minutes so that we can get to a follow-up. Yeah. Kunle, go ahead.
Okay. So nothing's going to happen. And sorry, and I wanted to remind you of something. the day that I knew that he was under control of the CIA was when Niger broke off, and he immediately did everything that America asked him to do, and it was
and
only
threatened to go
the
to war. Threatened to go
House
to
of
war with
Reps
him.
that
Yeah.
stopped him. He
Very
was
good,
ready
very
to
good
send
point.
soldiers
I
to
was
the
coming
border.
to that
He
place.
was ready to
I'm coming
bend
to that.
over and open his buttocks for America and France and England over that issue.
Haba.
He was ready to send soldiers to
Yes, now he
Niger.
was ready
The
to go
only
to war
thing
that time.
that stopped him, his own people stopped him. His
Yes,
own
true.
even
people
David
stopped him.
Hunter,
And they just
David
said, look,
Hunter,
I'm not going to turn West
there's a
Africa into a
memorandum.
war zone. Yeah, he didn't. His own people said, look, we want to loot Nigeria. We don't want to turn it into a war zone. There's a limit. Even Crips have limits because they don't want their, and they're still Nigerian. They still want to flex in Nigeria. They don't want to turn Nigeria into a war zone. You just be a rich man pilfering, running around the
No,
world.
he'll
So
be
yes,
lynched.
Tinubu is
He'll be lynched.
under the thumb. He will do anything. And the only thing that can stop Tinubu is the other politicians going, Tinubu, that's too far. We're not going to approve it. I know that he doesn't want to join BRICS. He's just being pushed. Anything that he does that is anti-America is because of pressure from other areas of his party and the other parties.
That's good.
Nothing
That's
is going
good.
to happen as a result
That's
of
good because it means
what
he
they
doesn't have
found out.
absolute power.
It's just an interesting piece of information, and it's going to be forgotten in about the next 2-3 days. We're going to forget it.
Okay, so we're gonna move on, Kunle. Thank you, but it's still something that we, the people on the ground, that's why we're doing the show. We have to keep spreading this message, and hopefully, eventually, people will wake up and we'll have, instead of end bad governance, we'll be more direct and say we need accountability for our resources in Nigeria. What are your thoughts on this story, Afalabi? Sorry that you didn't get to speak so much so far.
Yeah, I agree with what everybody has said, but if you look at the problem that has led to the Sahel region breaking off from ECOWAS, you would realize that most of US interference in African countries is to promote African leaders to serve their own selfish interests. And that's why most of these Francophone countries has decided to align with Russia and not the USA. And they see Tinubu as a tool that they can use to serve their own interests.
Yeah.
And if you look at this, this has led to a lot of socio-political instability in the western part of Africa. For Nigerians, the broader African diaspora and the revelation of this opposition by US intelligence could further erode trust in both domestic and foreign governments. Nigerians are not happy because it's leading to instability, and US are serving their own interest, and the leaders are being promoted just because they are serving United States of American interests.
But I agree.
I mean, look at the assets. Al Qaeda for America, and in Africa, and ISIS. ISIS was funded by Lafarge, a French company. I'm noticing that all these terror Middle East and African companies, they're being sponsored by Western governments.
Also,
Kunle, funded by Western governments.
Whether it's in South Africa,
Laden.
In South Africa, there are Libyan people being trained as rebels on South African farms, and the government found out about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and they destabilized Libya because they're sending terrorists to South Africa, also Mozambique. Okay, so we're going to move on because it's a racket, but their power is running out because BRICS is moving on because the dollar is getting weak. The U.S. is in chaos. They had the most miserable election in their history of their country, in which the Democratic Party is finished, and Trump is in power, who's okay, but he's still pro genocide. And like they said, things fall apart. The center cannot hold. The U.S. cannot continue. They can't afford to continue giving money to Nigeria, forgiving loans. The U.S. is going to have to focus internally. So their influence in Nigeria and other parts of the world are going to reduce. And we're seeing it now with the fact that the U.S. can't stop Nigerian politicians from stopping Tinubu to attack Nigeria and those countries. So there's a balance, thank God. What are your thoughts, Said, before we move to the next topic?
Yeah. So, my question again, I would like to direct a question, or let's say like an opinion, to Mr. Kunle. What if Peter Obi now? I'm just imagining things right now. Like, what if Peter Obi sees this court case and this revelation now? He now lobby his way in and try and get the document that was unredacted. Is there any way he can work with that document to have Tinubu disqualified? I'm just thinking out loud.
No, because Tinubu owns the judiciary. So forget
Wow.
it. Tinubu is the judiciary, so just forget that one. That's not good.
So the only thing is
it's
that
just an interesting
can he be
tidbit.
impeached?
If you
Can he
heard
be
Tinubu
impeached?
raped 1,000 women yesterday, it's just an interesting tidbit. Nothing's going to happen. He's above the law right now. You cannot touch him for anything. He can kill 1,000 people. Nothing will happen to him right now.
So are you telling
I'm
me
quite
that
sure of it. Nothing
Kule,
will
are you
happen.
telling me that
It's
in
just an
Nigerian
interesting
law,
story that will
Kule,
blow
are you
up.
telling me that in Nigerian law, if the president commits murder, he can't go to jail?
He can't go to jail. Not this particular president. No, nothing can happen
No,
to
I'm
him.
talking about the law, not about his
Nothing,
power.
because he
I'm talking
owns the
about the law.
judiciary, and the law and the reality are so different that I can't separate them. They're too different. So I just have to speak on the reality. He's above the law. You can tell me he isn't above the law, blah blah blah. You can
No, I mean
bullshit till
technically,
the
but as
day,
a lawyer,
but he's above
Kule,
the
as a
law.
lawyer, technically he's not, but de facto he is. Yeah.
If you say that technically he's not, you can get done for treason, and the judge will
No,
put
but
you away
I'm
and say
saying if you
no,
interpret the
technically
law,
he's not.
Kule, if you interpret
So
the law,
why bother yourself?
Kule, if you interpret the law, if you commit murder, you go to jail. That's Nigerian law. It's not about. I'm just saying, what does
And
the law
America,
say?
That's what he's trying to say to me. That's what he's saying.
I'm saying by the law,
America
not
is running
by.
a protection racket, just like the mafia. You know what the
But
mafia
that means that it's illegal.
They
It's not
tax you and
constitutional.
they say they're giving you.
It's illegal. It's not constitutional. It's illegal. It's not constitutional.
Yeah, but I mean that's in the same country.
That means that Nigeria is a lawless
apply
country. It means Nigeria is a lawless country.
Yes.
Okay,
That's what he's trying to say.
It's
in the law.
Under the
It's in the
rule
law that if he commits murder, he
heroin
should go to
dealer.
jail. But at the moment, he controls the judiciary. So who is going to judge him? That's what Mr. Kunle is saying. So at the moment,
I agree with that.
But
I'm just saying that, but at least we know that it's lawlessness.
How are you going to get a drug law to solve the corruption problems? Come on. I mean, how is that going to work?
I keep saying the Constitution needs to be changed. It needs to be made clear. If I call him that
as a fact, then it's and if it goes too loudly, it's always say, Kunle accused you of being a drug lord. He's committed treason. That's more likely to happen.
All right, let's move on to the next thing.
Anything that you're going to hear.
Let's move on to the next thing. So,
I wanted to say about the protection racket. America is sort of like, oh, we'll protect you from Boko Haram so long as you let us put our military bases here. Because they know America can't say this, that African cities are dangerous because they have 10,000 gunshot victims a year. So they can't use that. So they have to manufacture an instability, and then use that as an excuse to put their troops all over. They've got more bases all over the world than the Roman Empire. Only the Roman Empire came as close to America.
China has less than 10 bases all over the world. The U.S. has up to 1,000. And that shows you the difference.
Yeah.
Also, Russia
spent... the axis of evil, but how many countries have they invaded?
None.
How many? Name me one. One country that Iran invaded.
No, they only invade
anyone.
No, they haven't. They only invade themselves. Or maybe
nobody.
Yeah. I think they invaded Iraq maybe 60 years ago.
No, Iraq invaded them. Iraq invaded them, and they defended themselves against Iraq.
Has invaded, although they are sending missiles to Israel, but in retaliation. Yeah, in retaliation.
Well, they're sending, and the other missiles they send, and then they're not fighting Israel directly. They're fighting them through Hezbollah, the Houthis, and all of that. But we're digressing from the point. And the point is that America is running a protection racket in Africa.
Even at the moment, even when Trump comes in and he tries to change the bureaucracy and all the CIA and stuff, and they redacted it, at the end of the day, we still can't do anything about it.
And also, why do you think they tried to kill Trump?
But the American people are beginning to learn, but not quickly enough.
They tried to kill Trump because of that. Yeah, they tried to kill him.
Yes, they know Trump is a threat. Trump is a threat. But we don't know what form. We don't know what form it's going to take.
Well, I'll tell you what form Trump is. Here's my prediction.
Afraid.
I don't want to change the subject. Here's my prediction. Trump is going to wants the U.S. to join BRICS because he's a businessman. And if the U.S. joins BRICS with China and Russia, the three of them will be so powerful that even though the other members, they will still have all the power. Trump is a businessman. He wants to build towers in Israel. He wants to build towers in Saudi Arabia. He wants to build towers in China. So for him, he needs stability in the world. He's opportunistic, just like the Russians and the Chinese are. It's not that they like peace, but with peace, they make more money. Do you see what I'm saying?
There's a question I want to ask Trump. I don't know whether he's smart or very stupid.
And then after that, we're moving to the next topic.
Tariffs against China. He can't raise tariffs against China because the American companies buy from China.
No,
and
he
then
won't
when
do
they
it.
bring the goods in,
he won't
they get the tariffs put on. China doesn't suffer any
No, so
time.
here's what's going to happen. Trump is going
So
to.
I don't understand what he's
No,
trying
here's
to
what he's
do
going to do.
here.
He's going to
Has he
reduce
given it up?
He's going to reduce spending on NATO and on military, and also what he's going to do is create competition for China. That's the only thing he can do. He can't put tariffs. He'll create competition and also cutting social programs by redirecting infrastructure to American factories and
He's
things.
going to
He's
present
going to compete.
optimum.
He's going to compete with China. But if he was smart, he would join BRICS.